FM, New York.
Good morning, 68 degrees at 8 o'clock, Thursday, April 13th. I'm Lee Harris, and here's what's happening. A federal appeals court puts a partial hold on a lower court judge's ruling banning the sale of a widely used abortion drug. Another summer preview today with a possible record-tying high of 88, but it brings a risk of more wildfires. Former President Trump back in town for yet another deposition in the state attorney general's business fraud case against him. The city finally has a rat czar.
I have a long history with rats.
And we'll be talking with Kathleen Karate live in about 15 minutes. The Pentagon may have a major clue as to who leaked those classified documents about the war in Ukraine. Sports, the Mets and the Yankees won. The Islanders clinch a playoff spot. 10-10 wins AccuWeather. Very warm today, lots of sun, breezy. We'll have a high near the record of 88. Wednesday news time, 8:01. Here's traffic and transit on the ones from Karen Stewart.
Northern suburbs in Scarsdale. We're still dealing with this Hutchinson Parkway accident. Northbound at Weaver Street. We've got an accident blocking the right lane there. Metro North is on time. PATH trains Hoboken to 33rd and Hoboken to World Trade Center lines are delayed. They've got mechanical issues. Bronxbound 4s are delayed because of NYPD activity near 125th Street. We've got 20-minute delays inbound at the Hudsons. Holland, Lincoln, George, as we check what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. In New Jersey, on the northbound western spur of the turnpike, exiting at 18W, be careful. We've got a disabled vehicle blocking one toll lane. Route 21. Northbound at 3rd Avenue in Newark, we've got an accident on the left, and we're very heavy on Route 17 northbound at Patterson Plank Road. The reason for it is an ongoing accident investigation at Patterson Plank in Carlstadt. The right lane is blocked there. Now, alternate side parking rules and regulations are suspended. The meter rules, they do apply this time around, and we're sponsored by MajorWorld.com. How often have you heard the car you want's at the lot, you get there and the car isn't? Stop wasting time. Go to Major World to choose from over 1,000 cars. No games, no tricks, straight up honest pricing. Visit MajorWorld.com or call 1-800-MAJOR-AUTO. I'm Karen Stewart, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
As expected, a federal judge's ruling banning the sale of an abortion drug has been put on hold by a federal appeals court.
In a ruling released just before midnight, a three-judge panel of the 5th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals voted 2-1 to block for now a lower court's ruling that suspended approval of a widely used abortion pill. But the panel left in place some restrictions, including that a woman has to see a doctor in person to get the pill.
Christopher Cruz reporting the appeals court ruling also allows mifepristone to be dispensed for up to 7 weeks instead of the current 10. Either side or both could take this case up to the U.S. Supreme Court. A lot of us are enjoying this preview of summer, but it's not without its costs because it's also responsible for setting off wildfires around the area, including a huge one in Manchester, New Jersey.
I don't mean to be dramatic, but this was a severe situation. This fire exhibited extreme fire behavior. We saw a wall of fire, 200-foot flames, raining fire embers.
John Cecil with the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection. Let's find out what we're in for today, including the fire threat from Matt Benz at AccuWeather. Matt?
Yeah, Lee, another day that we're going to have to watch ourselves with regards to that fire threat. Perhaps not nearly as high as yesterday, but with low humidity, high temperatures, and, of course, blustery conditions here for this afternoon. There will be an elevated risk for fires here across the tri-state here through this afternoon. Of course, there's going to be a warm one as well. We're heading up to near the record high in the park today of 88 degrees that was set back in 1977, and we're not done with it just yet. The warmth will stick around for tomorrow with perhaps near record temperatures once again, but if you are looking for some relief from the heat, just wait a couple more days. Saturday and Sunday, much cooler. Lee?
All right, we're up to 70 now. It's sunny, and we're going up to 88. Former President Trump is back in town for yet another legal proceeding. Glenn Schuck with more from Trump Tower this morning.
A lot of security around Trump Tower again this morning. Police barricades are up all along 5th Avenue. Several dozen police officers in place and a huge media presence as Donald Trump will head to the AG Tish James's office for this deposition regarding a civil suit that James filed last September for fraud involving the former president and his 3 adult children. Now, Mr. Trump sat down with Fox's Tucker Carlson earlier this week talking about the criminal case here in Manhattan.
They say there's no crime. There's no anything. Think of it, Tucker. I've been through 7 years of investigations. 7 years.
Trump expected to either plead the 5th or refuse to answer these questions today during the deposition in a busy month of legal wrangling for the former president. Yesterday announcing he's suing his former lawyer Michael Cohen for $500 million, insisting that Cohen keeps making false statements about Trump. Of course, it was last week that DA Alvin Bragg brought his felony case. Glenn Schuck, 1010 wins, 92.3 FM. Here at Trump Tower.
And there's another Trump trial scheduled to begin a week from Tuesday. This is E. Jean Carroll's civil suit accusing the former president of raping her over a quarter of a century ago in a Manhattan department store dressing room. Mr. Trump denies the accusation. His legal team is asking for a 1-month delay in the trial. The House Judiciary Committee will be in Manhattan on Monday for a field hearing on the policies of Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg. This despite Bragg filing a lawsuit against committee chairman Jim Jordan in an effort to stop the hearing.
The committee says it will examine those policies and violent crime in the city and will hear from witnesses, including the heads of New York crime victim advocacy groups. The hearing scheduled almost a week after Bragg sued Jordan, accusing him and other House Republicans of trying to intimidate and obstruct his investigation into former President Trump. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
Two groups of teenagers got into a fight at a condo complex in Calverton yesterday. It started with fists but escalated into a gun battle, and when the shooting stopped on Hill Circle, a 15-year-old was dead. Family members drove Preston Gamble to Peconic Bay Medical Center in Riverhead, where he was pronounced dead. Now Suffolk County cops are looking for his killer. It's unclear how many people were involved in this fight or what set it off. 3 women and a man were shot outside the Isla Cafe on Westchester Avenue in the Soundview section of the Bronx around 2:15 this morning. The man and 1 woman were shot in the leg. The other woman suffered graze wounds. There's no word yet on who shot these people or why. It took a while, but Mayor Adams has finally found somebody willing to serve as New York's rat czar. That would be former school teacher Kathleen Karate, who also worked with the Department of Education and Waste Management.
I have a long history with rats. My introduction to public service came when I was 10 years old, getting signatures on petitions for anti-rat measures in my neighborhood.
She was chosen from about 900 applicants, and we'll be talking to her and the mayor live this morning in about 8 minutes about their plans to win the ancient battle against New York's very resilient and approximately 2 million rats. In New Jersey, a couple of former chiefs of police find themselves on the wrong side of the law.
The cases are separate, but there is a common thread, says New Jersey Attorney General Matt Platkin.
Both cases involve serious abuse of power and sexual misconduct in and around the workplace by high-ranking law enforcement officials.
The first case is against Manville Police Chief Thomas Herbst. Platkin is outlining a pattern of sexual harassment and assault over 2 decades.
Among other conduct, the chief allegedly sought sexual favors from the wives of his subordinates in order to get favorable employment opportunities, the spouses.
In the second case, former Howell Police Chief Andrew Kudrick is accused of trying to cover up an extramarital affair, lying to investigators and threatening co-workers to stay quiet.
It's unacceptable, and they need to be held accountable.
Steve Burns, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
The Pentagon may now have a major clue as to who leaked the military secrets about the war in Ukraine that have been turning up online.
A bombshell report is revealing details about the leak of what appears to be highly classified U.S. military documents. According to the Washington Post, the alleged leaker is in his 20s and worked on a military base. The Post reports he shared several documents a week beginning late last year with a group of about 24 people on Discord, an online chat room popular with gamers.
And when reporting, the Washington Post says it got this information from a friend of the leaker who would not reveal the leaker's identity or location. Ukraine's investigating a video which appears to show a Ukrainian soldier being beheaded by a Russian soldier. President Zelensky responded, "There is something that no one in the world can ignore, how easily these beasts kill." The Kremlin is calling the footage horrible, but says it needs to be verified. An unknown number of Americans have gone to Ukraine to fight the Russians, and while we don't know how many, we do know that some won't be coming back.
2 more Americans are now confirmed to have died fighting for Ukraine, bringing the total number of U.S. nationals killed in combat or in this conflict to at least 8. One is Grady Kirpas, a decorated Marine veteran who has been missing since the first months of the war. The second is Edward Wilton, killed fighting in Bakhmut. He was just 22 years old. U.S. officials are in touch with both families and providing support. Shannon Crawford, ABC News, the State Department.
They hit the evacuation siren on the Japanese island of Hokkaido this morning after yet another North Korean missile test.
It's not believed that it fell near land, but Japan, as a precaution, warned residents to stay away from debris. This comes as South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff says North Korea launched an unspecified ballistic missile toward the East Sea. There are no reports of damage or injuries, and ships in the area were also alerted. Kim Jong-un just days ago vowed to enhance his nuclear arsenal in more practical and offensive ways. Lionel Moise, ABC News.
Juul has settled with New York and other states that brought suit against it for marketing e-cigarettes to teenagers. It's a $462 million settlement. New York will get about 25% of it. State Attorney General Letitia James says Juul also has agreed to change its marketing.
Juul cannot directly or indirectly target youth in its marketing, fund or operate youth education and prevention programs, and portray anyone under the age of 35 in its promotional materials.
But under the deal, Juul does get to keep selling e-cigarettes to anyone who is legally qualified to buy them. Wednesday's time, 8:11. Traffic and transit on the ones now from Karen Stewart.
We're jammed on the northbound Hutchinson Parkway from Webster Avenue up to Mill Road. Bumper-to-bumper traffic there. The northbound Hutch at Weaver Street in Scarsdale has an accident, and the right lane is blocked, so we've got delays there. If you're heading out right now to New Jersey, let me just tell you about Route 17. We've got slowdowns on northbound Route 17 at Patterson Plank Road to Carlstadt. The right lane's blocked with an ongoing accident investigation, but we've got 2 lanes open there. They've cleared that accident on 21 North and 3rd Avenue in Newark, and they've cleared the disabled vehicle on the northbound Turnpike Western Spur 18W. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. The GW Bridge is 25 for the upper, 20 for the lower. The inbound Lincoln is 20. The inbound Holland has got a 30 to 35 minute delay. And we are jammed right now on the northbound Major Deegan Expressway near Yankee Stadium. We got a disabled truck out there, and the right lane is closed. We've got mass transit issues on the path. Hoboken to 33rd and Hoboken to World Trade Center is delayed because of a mechanical issue. Bronx-bound 4s are running with delays with NYPD activity, and alternate side parking rules are suspended. We're sponsored by Charles Tyrrell. Hit the refresh button on your workwear wardrobe with quality menswear from Charles Tyrrell. The London brand makes it easy for you to look and feel your best. Check out their famous range of over 600 sharp shirts at ctshirts.com. Use promo code TRAFFIC to get...
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me on my commute to work as we record history for posterity. I didn't get a chance to intro this video because it started right at 8 in the morning, and it started right with the top news, and I didn't want you to miss the top news for today, Thursday, April 13th, 2023. And we'll see you on the next Driving and the News.